When they opened their eyes, it was to a cold mechanical hum. The floor beneath them was metal, slick with condensation, as if this place had been waiting for them for a long time. Kara's breath hitched as her vision adjusted to the dim light. Around her lay strangers, all stirring, all confused. James, an older man with eyes that betrayed years of quiet observation, was the first to speak. "Where are we?" His voice cut through the murmurs like a sharp blade. The answer came not from the group, but from a heavy metallic clang that made their hearts pound. A door they hadn't noticed slid open, and in stepped figures that weren't human, or at least didn't seem so. Black masks obscured their faces, and their rigid movements suggested an unnatural discipline. "Work begins now," one commanded. The voice was hollow, devoid of emotion. No explanation, no comfort, just an order. What would you do, trapped in a place with no memory of how you got there? Would you follow blindly, or would you risk defiance? As Kara and the others shuffled into the unknown, they had no idea that their choices would soon determine who survived and who didn't. Click the like and share buttons if you want more stories that will keep you on edge. Follow to uncover where this is headed. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. The factory was a vast maze of machinery, its walls stained with rust and time. Conveyor belts ran endlessly, carrying parts that seemed both familiar and alien. Each person was assigned a station, a wrench here, a drill there. Simple tools for simple tasks, or so it seemed. The guards stood silently watching, not a word, not a sound, just the weight of their gaze. Even behind those masks, it was as if they were waiting for something. Kara's hands shook as she tightened a bolt. Next to her, Ravi, a wiry man with darting eyes, whispered under his breath, "This isn't just about work. They're studying us." James overheard, his voice low but firm. "Then we need to give them something they're not expecting." You could almost feel the tension spreading, the unspoken understanding that they couldn't stay like this. But the tools they were forced to use might just be the keys to their freedom or their destruction. As the hours stretched into what felt like days, Kara began to see patterns. The guards rotated in shifts, their movements precise but predictable. The machinery hummed in rhythms, masking the whispers of the group as they formed a plan. "We use the tools," Kara said, her voice steady, though fear gnawed at the edges. "The drills, the wires, everything here can be turned against them." Ravi hesitated, glancing nervously at the cameras mounted high above. "If we're caught," James interrupted, "if we don't try, we're dead anyway." It wasn't courage driving them, not really. It was desperation, the kind that makes you see every shadow as an opportunity and every sound as a warning. The plan began with small acts of rebellion. A bolt loosened here, a circuit tampered with there. Kara and Ravi worked in unison, their actions subtle but deliberate. But the factory seemed alive, almost aware. The moment Ravi disconnected a camera, alarms blared. Red lights bathed the room as the guards moved in, faster than anyone anticipated. Kara grabbed a wrench, her knuckles white. James stood beside her, clutching a metal rod. "This is it," he said. "No turning back." Fear isn't what stops you, it's what pushes you forward. And in that moment, they discovered just how far they were willing to go to survive. The factory became a battlefield. Kara swung the wrench with everything she had, the clang of metal against metal echoing through the space. Ravi, shaking but determined, used a drill to short-circuit one of the guards' helmets. But for every small victory, there was a cost. The guards were relentless, their strength inhuman. James was thrown against a wall, coughing blood but refusing to stay down. "Kara!" he shouted. "The control room! Go!" She hesitated, looking back at the others. But James's eyes told her everything. If she didn't move now, none of them would make it. The control room was a labyrinth of screens and switches. Kara's hands trembled as she searched for the right one, Ravi's instructions echoing in her mind. Outside, the fight raged on. James held off the guards, his every breath a struggle. "Hurry!" Finally, Kara found it, a lever marked override. She pulled it with all her strength, and the factory's systems began to shut down. The lights flickered, the alarms died, and the doors creaked open. They ran, past the guards, past the machines, out into the cold open air. Freedom wasn't a reward, it was a battle, and not everyone made it. As they disappeared into the wilderness, one thought remained. This wasn't over. Whatever had brought them here was still out there, waiting, watching.